The Adventure Time villain tier list. Only the cool ones though that I really like. Recently we've been doing a lot of serious videos on this channel, you know, doing deep dives on cartoons, looking at villains, and I just want to take some time and, you know, just do something cool with y'all. So today we're gonna be doing the Adventure Time villain tier list. And I didn't do all of them. This is like an entire list because there's like too many and some of them are like super irrelevant. If you want to go ahead and do people like the Tree Witch, go ahead by all means, but I'm just gonna do the people that I think are funny or really cool. So let's get started. We got 15 villains here and our categories are the main antagonist, you're a menace, you're evil enough, you're annoyingly bad, or are you even a villain? And there's gonna be maybe like one or two I think in here that are gonna fall in that category. But without further ado, let's get underway. First up, we got Hunson Abadir. In the beginning of the show, he was a little more troublesome. I think the more they got into it, the more he just had like daddy issues with Marceline. But he did cause some problems for Finn and Jake, so I wouldn't say he's annoyingly bad, even though he can get pretty annoying. But he's evil enough that he's like barely middle of the pack. All right, next up, Fern. He's not a bad guy, but I had to put him on here because, you know, he was on some devious timing. He wanted to try and kill Finn. You know, he was always battling back and forth. He just had very conflicted feelings and no one was really around to help him through it. So I'm gonna say, are you even a villain? Next up, Ice King Finn. Okay, now here, I wouldn't say that he's evil as well. Kind of like Fern. He was more just being led astray by the Lich, who was really the main antagonist of that episode. But he did help get the Lich in every universe possible, so that is also pretty bad. I'm gonna say he's annoyingly bad because the crown does give him some evil tendencies and just makes him go crazy. So he can't be, are you even a villain? Because he was doing some villainous things. Golb. Oh, main antagonist. There's no workaround for that. He comes when worlds are to be destroyed and he destroys them. Like, that's the whole reason of him being. He is the antagonist. He's there to destroy worlds. It's as easy as that. Also, he's very creepy looking. You know, the uglier you are, the higher on this list you're probably gonna be. Uncle Gumbald. See, that one's a little more tough. I don't think he's evil enough to where he could be with like Hunson Abadir. He's definitely not on that level. He definitely has plotted against Princess Bubblegum and tried to basically take over the Candy Kingdom. But the worst you could say, he's like a dictator. That's really it. Yeah, we'll go with annoyingly bad. He's not good enough to be on Fern's level, but he's not evil enough to be in evil enough. Betty. Okay, this one is a little bit tougher because she isn't necessarily an evil person, but she does some horrible acts, bro. She literally brings Golb to ooh. She also is kind of selfish in the sense that she does all of this to try and save Simon, which, like, you know, bro, just like let it go. He's crazy now. Definitely think she can be an evil enough. Lemongrab. Okay, this is the original Lemongrab I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the new one or his brother. This is the original evil one, and he definitely deserves to be on this list. You can't argue that at all. He literally ate his brother, enslaved and tortured his citizens, and was just an asshole, honestly. And he was sentencing everyone to like 40 years in the dungeon for making a joke. Are you serious? Okay, I have a problem now. I think I'm gonna switch it up right here because Hunson Abadir, he's pretty evil. Now I'm thinking about it, he'd be like taking people's souls and trying to like murder everybody. That's pretty menacing. I think he has to be in You're a Menace, and so that'll make way for Lemongrab to be an evil enough because he's definitely not on the same level as Lemongrab or Betty. He's like pure evil. He may not be insane enough to summon gold, but he'll definitely electrocute you to death. So the Lich, main antagonist. He may not be as powerful as Gold, but he definitely deserves the #1 spot. He was an absolute menace. His speeches were on point. You really felt as though he was gonna kill everyone and that he couldn't be stopped. And he was always lurking. He was dedicated to the plan that you could never take his eyes off him or count him out. And I'm talking about Adventure Time Lich. I'm not talking about Fiona and Cake where he's over there begging Gold like, oh my god, please say something to me. Ricardo. I got him in here because he's one of the villains that I remember the most because, I don't know, he was just pretty funny. He was creepy looking definitely, but you know, he was charming, he was very forward, and also insane, just like every other man under 5 feet. Meow, the hitman for hire. He's a hitman, so he's definitely gonna be above annoyingly bad because he kills people for a living, and he does it surprisingly efficient, almost killing Jake. And he honestly would have if Jake didn't have the ability to grow his liver to 51 times its original size. For me, it's hard because I feel like he falls under evil enough as well. I don't want to put too many people in there though. I can't put him below Betty because Betty's not out here trying to murder people, even though, you know, she kind of did, like with Golb and everything. That's the only thing that keeps her like away from being annoyingly bad. If she didn't summon an all-powerful god, then she probably would have been chill. Meow is just like not a nuisance enough though. Like, yes, he's killing people, but like you step on him and he's done. We're gonna put him above Betty. Betty's really hindering me here. She might be changed by the end of this. New Death. He's easily gonna be in Your Menace. He killed his own dad, who was Death, first of all. And then he wanted to stop reincarnation, which was gonna end all life. Well, that's a little bit thanks to the Lich as well, but he's also really cool looking, really ugly though. And you already know, the uglier you are, the higher up on this list you go. The Deer. The Deer is a menace. So I know the name is actually the Stag is what most people call him, but I'm calling him the Deer. Menace. Knocked out Finn and Jake, which already is a win on itself. Broke Finn's legs. And then he kidnapped every single person in the Candy Kingdom, hid them underground, and had them stored away to eat for later. You don't get more insane and crazy than that. Literally no one else has done that but him. And he's also really creepy and weird. Definitely in Your Menace, you're gonna be going, probably gonna be at the tail end though. Sorry, buddy, you're not murdering enough people for me.
What?
Goliath. Okay, this one is interesting too because we didn't see her do any like atrocities really, but we kind of know where she was going with it. She was yelling at the kids. She didn't really care for people's lives. She was definitely on her way to being a dictator. She was also extremely ugly. So I'm saying you probably would have been worse than Lemon Grab. You would have been probably destroying and murdering people. I'm not gonna lie here. So you're going to evil enough. Can't put you in Your Menace because I haven't seen you do it, but I know you would have done it. And you're really ugly. Magic Man, okay. I know he doesn't do a lot of evil things in the show and actually, you know, becomes normal later on. But when he was Magic Man, he was kind of an ass. And he was very bothersome and a nuisance to not only the boys, but remember when we first see him, he's like turning like random people into like body parts. He's weird. And last but not least, Tiffany. Tiffany literally just wants to be Jake's best friend and fights with Finn over it. But later on, he definitely does turn a new leaf, especially in the afterlife. So I wouldn't really put him in annoyingly bad. He's probably gonna go in Are You Even a Villain? Now let me see, is there anyone I wanna move up or move down? The only one I have problems with in this is Betty. She was kind of going mad with the powers of Magic Man. So using that same logic, I'm gonna put her with Finn because he was also being manipulated and the crown was also making him like insane. And I'm definitely more comfortable putting her here because she sacrificed herself to try and save Ooh from gold. So there you have it. That's the only correct Adventure Time villain list.